Therefore, ELF was considering the achievement of national unity as a significant, very important. Particularly, we know that the existence of two organizations in the battlefield cannot coincide the existing objective reality in Eritrea. That's why we're struggling. But we couldn't achieve, or we couldn't get understanding from other factions. In 1975, we adopted in our Second National Congress a decision which says that there should be a democratic dialogue with PLF so that to settle the problems and all the problems or hindrances that may stand in front of achieving national unity should be paved, you see. And we had, a consecutive meeting with the PLF. But after March 1976, they were split again into two, and we were a neutral, occupied a neutral position between two factions, and still we are contacting all factions in order to achieve national unity, even though there is contradiction between the PLF then and the EPLF and PLF now. Now we had a meeting, and it is we consider somehow is very important. Why for the first time official meeting between the leadership of the EPLF and the ELF happens, and we both of us show our belief that there should be one organization, National Democratic Revolution in Eritrea. And another positive point was that our stress that dialogue should continue between all factions. And we hope, even though I am not so too much optimistic that national unity will be achieved within coming days or months, but the continuation of dialogue with other factions will help to create a good atmosphere for achieving national unity. That was accepted.
So
but
you don't feel worried that if independence suddenly came to you, that there would then be a bloodbath between the two sides as to who should actually
in order to avoid that, we are paving anything, you see. The continuation of dialogue will help and pave on. And particularly, today, we decided, both of us, that we should have to confront the peasant invasion or any military operation of Ethiopia today in the battlefield. We agreed.
So you're now going to be linked up against any peasant militia invasion or anything like
militia
that?
And the regular army.
From today onwards?
From today onwards, yes. Therefore, this is positive enough.
Ahmed Nasser, thank you very much indeed.
Welcome, thank you.
Thank you. Ahmed Nasser, it's quite clear to observers here that things are very much going in your direction, that you are winning. Do you now begin to see a moment when you will actually occupy the whole of Eritrea? And when do you think that will be?
First of all, since we began armed struggle against the Ethiopian occupation army, it is about 15 years and a half. During this time, we could arrange our people in such a way to let them be against Ethiopian occupation forces, well arranged, particularly after the first National Congress in 1971. We established the mass organizations which will be in the future after independence the safety valve for our revolution. And at the same time, we have organized our army in such a way that the structure of our army fits the present phase through which we are passing. And the beginning with liberating with the hinterlands of Eritrea, we are going to continue liberating towns, and at the same time to encircle, keep the besieging main towns till we liquidate the existence of the Ethiopian army in other regional towns.
Do you think that's going to take a matter of years or months?
This depends upon to what extent we can afford the conditions that may enable us to jump to victory.
What do you feel now about the changed position in Addis Ababa? The Americans have gone and the Russians have arrived. Does that worry you?
No, definitely no. After all, before I comment on anything particular to what's happened, we as Eritrean people depend on our determined will to liberate our land. And therefore, since we Eritrean people have determined will to liberate this country, any change can never change anything. However, it doesn't mean that the existence of any force that helps the regime at the expense of the right and the just cause of Eritrean people will not put certain hindrance in front of us.
But the Russians have brought with them the Cubans, and the Cubans in themselves have previously always defended revolution. Aren't you saddened by the fact that they now oppose you?
I want to remark to our relations with Cuba. During 1968, we have good relations with Cuba, and our cadres who occupy the leadership, some cadres, are those who were trained in Cuba. And at the same time, the first newspapers or magazines that was exposing the historical and legal background of Eritrean revolution, particularly from progressive centers, were the Cubans. This relation, which was consolidated through years, can never be deteriorated by establishing or cultivating good friendship with Ethiopia. And at the same time, I should have to notify to the declaration of Fidel Castro in the beginning of 1975, in which he says that the Eritrean revolution is progressive, and the outcropped new regime in Ethiopia is also launching the progressive slogans. The continuation of war will not help. Therefore, it is our responsibility to play a mediating role to settle in such a way we can guarantee the aspirations of Eritrean people for national independence.
But he has said... Okay.
Therefore, the relation that established between Cuba and the Ethiopians, we don't feel as Eritreans, or particularly as ELF, we don't feel will be at the expense of national rights of Eritrean people. However, we advocate launching our brief from principles that the social developments in the territory as a whole should develop well and well. Therefore, as Eritreans, since they say that they are progressive, and we believe we are progressive, the reason being our program was adopted before the the beginning of the coups that happened in Ethiopia. Therefore, since they say that the new regime or claims that he is progressive, what we expect is to settle Eritrean case democratically, as well as to settle the internal nationality questions in Ethiopia democratically.
So you actually see the Cubans possibly as an agent for producing peace between you and Ethiopia?
No, I maybe, but may not be, see. But when we meet the Cubans, we say to them that your position was so and so. Therefore, is your relation with Ethiopia is at the expense of Eritrean national rights, whom, or the revolution of whom you was exposing early in 1968? They say no.
Really?
Yes, they say no. And we don't expect us as Cubans to be against the national rights of Eritrean people. But as progressivists, it is our responsibility to push this regime forward in order to solve the problems which is suffering in Eritrea, whether it be in Eritrea or in Ethiopia, in such a way that it helps the development of the whole territory.
But it is said that the Cubans are even helping to train the peasant militia, which is designed, after all, in the end, to attack Eritrea.
But you see, as diplomatic relations may be settled. However, according to our knowledge, yet there are some military experts in Ethiopia, but this necessarily cannot be to adapt strategies with which, in final analysis, can deteriorate our aims. Then what we say, we have no the right to impose political stance on others so that to be towards us as a positive. Rather, we say we have national question. Therefore, this national question should be, given consideration. That's what we say. However, at the same time, we are not against peaceful solution, provided that solution guarantees the aspiration of Eritrean people for national independence. It's all right. If not, we are going to continue struggle. What I want to testify, we were facing the American F-5E planes. We were facing the artillery of America. We were facing the bombs of America. Yet we were existing, but with minimum possibility. Since our people well arranged, since our people will never betray his national question, therefore there is no reason why we should not continue, and why we should not be able to achieve our national independence, be it by peaceful means or be it by force.
So in a word, in the end, you don't think that the Russians' presence in Addis Ababa changes anything?
No.
Can I
But
ask,
it doesn't, just we are going to interrupt knocking or preceding our question to other, socialist camp. The reason being our conflict with Ethiopia is not ideological. We never said that the ex-existing regime in Ethiopia was feudalist and so on. We didn't say. Just what we said, Ethiopians should evacuate our country. That was our slogan. Still, we are continuing keeping that slogan.
Can I ask you now about the split inside Eritrea between yourselves and the EPLF, the Popular Front? That many people have pointed to as being the single factor which has actually delayed you winning all the territory. Is there now any real hope that you will patch up your differences and present a united front?
Let me, tap the point historically. Before 1969, there was one organization in Eritrea. It is ELF. During this time, we had no political program, and we had no democratically elected leadership from congresses. Therefore, the nature of the conflicts that were existing between persons and persons was personal. Rather than it be organizational or political, it was personal. Then, in 1971, for the first time, ELF held its Congress, in which it adopted political program, military, and elected democratically the legal leadership for ELF. And in addition to that, the accumulation of organizational errors which can be related with the social structure of Eritrean people. This was the main factors that was existing. However, we were struggling with through
60 miles towards the coast from here, a battle just as fierce and equally strategic. Sorry. "60 miles towards the coast from here, as fierce a battle is raging over the equally strategically important town of Barentu. If the Eritreans win that, and all the signs are that they will, then the Russians will probably find they've intervened too late to prevent Eritrea and that vital Red Sea coast they so urgently need slipping out of the hands of Ethiopia." John Snow, News at 10, Tessini in Eritrea. "60 miles towards the coast from here, a vital battle is raging over the equally strategic battle.
Da un po' che lavoro, Tessenei. Buongiorno. Come va? Adesso siamo dietro andare a vedere. Vogliono andare a vedere il campo. Questi qui, là dove c'è l'aeroplano, no? Della baracca, tutto finire. Andiamo?
Andiamo.
Andiamo. Andiamo al campo?
Siamo stati già. Aspetta.
Andiamo già
al hotel.
A mia casa, va bene? Andiamo a mia
مش
casa.
اكتر.
Va bene? Qui mango.
ايوه دايرين يشربوا مانجو.
Va bene?
دارين ما باردة
بعدين نحن خايفين عشان اصل له بقول له خليه يمشي الفندق لاحقيني.
Verso qui c'erano due mitraglie, perché di qui, proprio di questa direzione. E difatti si vede anche là sopra il muro che l'hanno preso fino là in fondo. Vede sopra là? Vede sopra là la veranda, vedi? Quelli là sono tutti buchi del carro armato, quelli là. E anche sulle lamiere. Vede? Sai? Qui ancora non ho pulito niente perché c'è ancora da dare l'acqua al giardino. E di qui la banca sparava così tutto contro il muro da questa parte, vedi? Contro il muro là di fronte, vedi? Qui hanno buttato giù un pilastro e la banca sparava dritto così.